welcome in to the Tuesday Tea with me, Christy. I am here to share with you the tea. All right, so let me get this. I need to figure out how to change this setting because I clearly don't know how to do it. I am live on YouTube for the first time at Cuter Than Most Accessories. Super excited about that. You can catch me over at Christy Waller on Clubhouse, and I am here on Facebook at Cuter Than Most Accessories. So come on in, say hi, get your share on and shout out on. I'll be doing the same. Happy New Year for those first time in here this new year. I wanted to give you a little background of who I am and why the heck should you be listening to me. I'm a former elementary educator who 11 years ago, I Googled ways to make an extra $1,000 a month. And on a stay-at-home mom, stay at home or work from home, well, it wasn't even work from home. They weren't even work from home. They were trying to stay at home. Mom's website. I found this opportunity to sell accessories for $5 and make 45% profit. Since then, I've grown to a multi six-figure earner that has business partners in all 50 states to include Puerto Rico and Guam. If you're catching this, you're probably going to be catching a replay if you don't see that red live up there. So the Tuesday Tea has been around for over 2 years and has evolved into a book club because I read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. And if you catch my old ones, it wasn't based on books. But one of the things I learned from the habit is attach something, a good habit that you want to start with something you're already doing. I was already doing a Tuesday tea, and as leaders are readers, no matter if you're leading the one thing you're responsible for leading is yourself. So in addition, you might also be leading other people in business and in life and in ministry and all those things. So I wanted to come in here and share books that I'm reading and my viewpoint of them as a wife, a mom, and a business owner. So listen, I was reading, this is the last part. This is You're Not Lost, the book that we're on, or the book that I've completed, which I'm super excited. We are only 17 days into the new year and one book is done. That means I could probably get done 24 books this year as opposed to 12. Join the train, okay? So this part is part 3 that's called Rise. Now, it was broken down into 3 parts. The first part is ditch, and then the second part was create. You'll definitely have to go back and catch my replays on those. And then this last part is rise. And there's 4 chapters, about 4 chapters in each section. So this last section really had me thinking as I was reading this last section, because part of me wants to take on the world, right? Who else is listening to this? And part of you wants to take on the world. And as you're coming in, I'm going to get this shared over to the book club that we have, the Facebook group where we do the after the Tuesday Tea Talks. I'm going to share this over here with them so that they can listen in. And I'm going to share it over to my personal page too. I'm going to share it in all the places. This gives you some time to share it too. All right. So share it to my story and share it to the book club. Let me get it shared over there. Are you drop a number 1 if you're part of our book club I'm going to call it VIP, but it is. You're very important people to me, and you are in the group where we get to talk about this Tuesday tea. Just so you know, you go ahead and get ahead of the game. The next book, which I am already enjoying, I so want to talk about today, but I'm not going to. Think Like a Freak is our next book. So don't pay attention to that. It's a white guy with a pickle. I mean, not a pickle, but a hot dog in his mouth, and there's a black woman in the front. It's so much more than this. But I tell you, one of the good things is it does entice you, or it might interest you. Like, what the heck? Think Like a Freak, and but it's so good. Oh my gosh, perfect books for the first quarter of the year, which is going to prepare you for the rest. Which is why I want to share what really made a light bulb go off on me. I realized while reading this last part, this third part in the book, The Rise, that I am currently letting fear hold me back. Oh, what? Now, fear is normal. Like, don't think that fear is, you're supposed to have it. It's going to be there. You're not getting rid of it. But you want to let the fear propel you to do more. I have not. Reading this chapter, and I was reading this book like, you're not lost. I'm not lost. Like, I don't feel like I'm lost in life at all. Like, I feel like I am good. I've been there, had the lost feeling. I found my purpose in life. I am fulfilling it. I know what I'm good at, and I'm using what I'm good and what I love to do to touch more lives, to put more money in my pocket, to create generational wealth, all the things. So I'm like, I'm not lost, but this is a good book. I'm going to read it. And I know there are people who where I was, so I want to recommend this to others, and I'm going to read it too so I can talk about it. This last part, the rise part. So I'm not at the part where, which I did learn some great things, and it's a workbook too. The part where you need to ditch some, things, or I passed the part of creating Although I'm always creating, but it's not something I need to read about to encourage me to do it. But I'm definitely at the rise part. So I made a pivotal move about 3 years ago to leave my job as an assistant principal and to pursue my business full time. I wasn't scared though. I was like, I can do this. I'm confident. The worst that can happen, which is what she talks about in this last part of the book. What's the worst that can happen? And she even gives some steps of questions that you can ask yourself to think about the worst that can happen. So my mind was like, what's the worst that can happen is I got to go back to education. Education is a career that they will always take you back as long as you didn't get let go for hitting a kid. Doing something unfavorable to a child, you can come back, okay? Cuss out a principal, you can still get a job somewhere teaching somebody's kids. Just don't put your hands on kids and let them revoke your certification. And even then, I'm sure there's a way to get through it. Like education is like that, especially public school. And then you can go to private and they might not even check your background from public and you can work there. So you can teach somebody's kids, unfortunately or fortunately, right? So I knew they would take me back. That was my worst case scenario, is that I would fail at this and they take me back. Not the worst case scenario that I go on these streets and I'd be on social media and I look like a failure to everybody else. I wasn't even worried about that. My biggest thing was money. I need to be able to take care of myself and my child. And so 3 years later, the worst never happened. I have not had to go back to my job. I haven't even had to consider taking a job. That hasn't even been a consideration. Is the worst of my business in the last 3 years. It still wasn't bad enough that I had to go back to job. It was still paying me more than my assistant principal job. So as assistant principal, I thought I had made it though. I was making 65. I got a raise. It was a $15,000 raise, and I was making $65,000 a year as an assistant principal. Well, I was in the suburbs, almost considered the country, and so that's why my assistant principal pay was that much. Some people are probably like, "Oh, assistant principal pay like that's 90,000, 100,000." Some districts it is, not where I was at, but more money, more problems for sure. And I didn't want that 45-minute commute or hour there and back to make that kind of money. I want to actually be able to enjoy the 65 I was making, right? My business was matching that. And so I decided to go do my business full time. So I gave myself a cushion before I made that leap, but I was confident I could do it. I didn't allow fear to hold me back. Reading this chapter made me realize I'm allowing fear to hold me back. So that's the three things I'm talking about today. The smallest thing you could do, fears, and it's not about you. So the smallest thing you can do, what is the smallest thing you can do? All right. She talks about this on page 155. And I was getting my talk on. And hey, Chancey, this morning. Hey, good morning, Jennifer. I just realized I still did not share this over to the group. So let me do that. Let me share it over to the After Tuesday Tea so that everybody in there can catch the replay for those who's at work right now. And or for those who are at work right now and are actually working, because I know some of y'all are at work right now and y'all not working. Y'all listening to me. Hey, Pamela, good morning. So let me post this over here in the group so y'all they can take a listen. If you're not in the group, you can be added. It's the After the Tuesday Tea where we get to talk about the tea after the live is over. And I'm also going to share it to my personal page so my friends and family can take a listen to this as well. Bam, posted. All right, thanks for you guys coming in here, made me think of that. So page 155, all right, because I want y'all to know this isn't all just what I'm saying. This is my comprehension of the text, right? On page 155, she says, read that book about the topic, send that one email asking for an introduction, buy the domain name. What is the absolute smallest thing you can do right now to get closer to where you want to be? You can literally do one thing every single day. What's the one thing, the smallest thing you could do to move you in that direction? Create the Facebook page. Buy the LLC today, or not even buy it. Go get the LLC today. Create the business name today. Think of the business. Write the list of business names today. Tomorrow, pick the smallest thing you could do. Pick the name of the business, check to see if it's already taken. Then the next day you make the Facebook page for it. The next day you go make the Instagram page for it. The next day you connect those two pages. You don't have a customer yet, but the only way you're going to be able, not even the only way, you can get customers before you have all these things, but you want to build the foundation before you move to the next step. The foundation is the LLC. With the LLC, you can go open up the business account, checking and savings at your local credit union. Thank you, Pamela. Pamela says she's working and listening. Go ahead and do what is the smallest thing you can do. Because this is what happens. We think about the big thing we want to do, and it's so big and so large that we don't get started. So it'll be 6 months from now and we haven't started. This is the rise. All right. This is how you rise to the occasion. This is how you rise to the next step. This is how you rise to meet your dreams. This is how you rise to meet your aspirations. This is how you rise to the occasion. This is how you make it. Because the last point of today is it's not about you. Your children are watching. And let's say, because I love to think in the worst case scenarios. And in this chapter, she talks about the worst case scenario. What's the worst case scenario? Is that you never make money from this business. The worst case. But you did create the LLC. And now you can tell somebody else how to do it. And their business may grow to 6 figures because you did it and now you know how to tell them how to do it. Worst case scenario is that you create the Facebook page and you attach it to Instagram page and somebody comes along later and they need that and they're willing to pay you to get the name of that. Worst case scenario. What is the absolute smallest thing you can do right now to get closer to where you want to be? That's a Facebook post. Like, are you looking for engagement? Do you want your followers to chime in? Ask them. It's January 17th, 2023. We're 17 days into the year. What is the absolute smallest thing you can do right now to get closer to where you said you want to be by the end of this year? I have a list of things, right? But every day, on my worst days where I don't feel like doing anything, where I have gone out and maxed myself for the last 3 days, this is real life, I still did the smallest thing that I could do yesterday, which works in my favor for tomorrow. She also says in this book, on page 157, this is the T right here. Are y'all listening? I hope y'all listening. This is the T. It can be so hard to see how the tiniest of actions are laddering your way to where you want to be. Because while you're in them, you don't always want to be doing them. I'm telling you, this part was talking to me. Duh, when you're in it, you don't feel like doing it. There's something on that list for the day that is moving you forward to a future that energizes you. If the answer is yes, but you still feel unmotivated, you still feel less than excited, you still feel like there's no point, come back to your commitment to yourself by thinking not about you of today, but the you of next year. Oh, that's the T. Don't think about the tired, the exhausted, the overwhelmed you of today. Because you know what I found? I be tired, exhausted, overwhelmed, and then I go to sleep and I wake up the next day and I'm ready to go. And I am thankful that yesterday I went ahead and made that reel. I'm thankful that yesterday I went ahead and took that picture, even though I didn't make the reel, because I can use that picture tomorrow, the next day when I'm woken up, rejuvenated, got some sleep. Because when I'm tired, I feel like yesterday was a prime example, but this is my routine, right? This is what happens with me. I go, and then I just be so old, like tired, beyond tired. But my schedule says I can't go to sleep because I booked it. Like I got something to do at 5:30. I got to go visit an event space for my daughter's sweet 16 birthday at 5:30. Then I committed to showing up and doing goal setting with a team on Zoom at 7 p.m. And then I said I was going to go live at 8 p.m. To talk about habits and personal growth. So, which is my normal, not nap time. It happens about 5 o'clock every day. But I did things back to back, 5:30, 7. In between the 5:30 and 7, I went and picked up boxes. I got to pack up this office and move to my home office now that I had built in my backyard. But I am happy that yesterday, even when I was feeling like over it, done, Christy, what are you doing? Why are you stacking your life like this? That I took some selfies, that I have pictures of what I did yesterday, so today I can make a reel. What small thing can you do today? I have 13 people in here with me live right now, and I have people over here with me Clubhouse. Throw in the comments something small that you could do today that your future self is going to thank you for. And here's the thing, your future self may not even know. The person right now, I'd be thinking like, my future self not going to thank me for that. You don't know what you're going to be thankful for. Do it. What's the smallest thing you can do? She says on page 160, I marked this. I was like, y'all gonna hear from the author today. What does the you of next week want the you of today to be doing? What is the you of next week want the you of today to be doing? The you of the me next week needs me to be taking selfies this week. So next week when it's time to make reels, next week when it's time for me to post on YouTube, next week when I need to come up with something to do, the me of today needs me to go scroll my Facebook groups that I'm in. I love that tab where you can go to what tab is it? I use it all the time. I forget all these Facebook groups I'm in, but a lot of them have some amazing memes, some amazing motivational statements. So I can scroll down. If I go to my page and go to groups, that's it. I just scroll down all the groups I'm in, like this one right here. Oh, that was posted in my group. But I like that. It's posted by Cynthia. Cynthia's posted a picture, the pain of being a book addict. Paper books get too easily damaged. Hardcovers, too heavy to read in bed. Kindle doesn't have a smell of books. I could literally take this picture, download it now, and I can schedule it for my business page if I want to. Like, hey, are you a book reader? You should be in my my after Tuesday tea talk, and then put the link to my group. My next week is gonna be happy. You know why? Because I'm gonna schedule that today just by scrolling all the groups that I'm in and using some things they posted. Me next week, because this happens all the time. Me next week is gonna be happy because I'm gonna go to my page and be like, I already have something scheduled. Okay, on to the next task. Because I have my list, my DMO, my daily method of operation every day. I'm going to post in my business group, my business partners. And I have my business partner mentor group. I'm going to post in that group. And then I'm going to post on my business page here. I'm going to post on my personal page. So I'm going to post on another business page I have. All these things I need to be doing. That's right, Cynthia, scheduling posts. Me today, when I'm laying in bed tired, or when I am just like, I can't pack another box, I'm gonna sit down and still schedule a post because the me next week is gonna be happy that I did that. What's a small thing you can do today? If you're catching a hashtag replay, drop something small that you're going to do today. On page 161, she says, ask the most, I love this, you've got this. She's giving you tips, actionable things to do. I love books that cause you to do actionable items. You got this. Stephanie says she's doing a look of the day, a photo of her and the jury posted across all her social media with a small post. Got to get that algorithm before anything else. Exactly. That's one thing you can do every single day. Or a small thing that your future self is going to thank you for. Ask the most successful person you know, what kept them going when they really wanted to stop? Think of one way you can apply this consistency in your own life. Now, one thing that keeps me going is it seems like at the moment where I'm like, do I really want to do this? Whatever this is. Is this what I'm still supposed to be doing? You know what I get? It's like God sending me, and my ears are open. I pray to open my ears to hear, open my eyes to see, and open my heart to receive. So I want to be able to, when things come in my realm, I want to be able to see it for what it is, right? So when I'm like over it, then I get a message that says, thank you so much for that Tuesday. Because, the Tuesday tea, like when I'm reviewing my year and thinking about things that I should stop doing and things that I should add to that I'm already doing, or things that I just need to start from the beginning, one of the things I look at is, one of the things I looked at was Tuesday tea. Do I want to keep doing this? Should I add to it? Which is how the group began. Should I take away from it? Should I do it once a quarter, once a month? How often should I do it? Should I be going live on Instagram anymore? Should I go live on YouTube? All these things I consider. And then I get a message about how it's changed somebody's life. And my hashtag is aspire to inspire. My tagline is, which is on my board, get people to take more action than they normally would. All right? So am I spending my time sharing things that's going to get people to take more action? So that's one of the, if you were to come to ask me, what keeps you going when I really want to stop? It's the difference that people, which last week, I think it was on a Tuesday tea. I do so many trainings and maybe on another training. So if it wasn't in Tuesday tea, let me share it with you today. So I was sharing, and it may have been this book. I'm reading like 3 books now, right, y'all? So y'all get the one for Tuesday tea, which is You're Not Lost. And then I have another book I'm reading. And then I have a book that I'm listening to on Audible. So I got 3 books going right now. So sometimes I forget where things come from. But the great thing is it's all here in my head, no matter where it came from. So it was saying, I think it was Tuesday tea, though. If you heard this before, let me know where you heard me say this. Was it Tuesday tea or a team trainer or somewhere else? So people are saying things, sending you text messages, sending you Facebook messages, and you should compile those items and put them somewhere you can see them. Where someone says, "Thank you so much for doing da 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 da, for posting that. It changed my life. For opening my eyes to that. For challenging us to do this." Like when they end up in your DM, posting on your comments, like you post something on social media and they comment and say, "This changed my life. I really need to hear this. This is confirmation." Like post those things somewhere so when you get to the point where you are ready to like throw in the towel, you have those things. Thank you, Cynthia. I thought it was Tuesday too last week. You have those things in front of you to remind you this is why you keep doing it. That is what keeps me going. So if I happen to be one of the most successful people that you know, that's what keeps me going. I haven't had them posted up where I need to see, but I have had them, and I have them in my mind, or they pop up for me often. If they don't pop up for you often, then you might want to print out the ones that you have and post them somewhere so that you can always see them. So continuing with this, because we are almost at the end of the 30 minutes for the Tuesday tea. Shauna says, if you have a support group or that one friend that pushes you, exactly. And that's the one thing she talked about last week in this book was your list of 15 people, like the one who supports you, the one who gives you the laugh, the one who is going to the strategist. I'm my friend's strategist. The one you come to me and be like, this is what I want to do. I don't know where to start. I'm like, well, or I'm stuck with this. And I'm like, what's your end goal? What do you want to do? What are you currently doing? Well, here's some things you can do to get there. Which one of these do you think you can do? Because I don't like giving information and be like, go do it. Which one are you going to do? Like, let's talk about, is that something that you think you can do? Because if you don't think you can do it, it's off or not. I can backtrack. Like there's levels to everything. So now here's the thing that I will tell you though, is that what happens is you're choosing, there's levels to everything. You're choosing level 1. Somebody else is choosing level 3. And then you're looking at them as like, why are my results not like that? Because when you get something, when you're told to do something, you're always choosing. It's like exercising. You know how exercise, they say do 12 to 15 reps? Well, that's 3 levels right there. 15 reps is going to be the level 3. 12 reps is going to be level 1. Well, the person who's continuously doing 15 reps might see results faster because they're choosing the top of the level. And you're going to get results doing 12 of the 15 reps, but your results are not going to might not come as fast as the person who's doing 15. They're doing more and more often. You're doing something which is better than 0 reps or 2 reps or 5 reps, but your reps aren't as much as the 15. There's levels to everything in life. Everything. I don't know anything that doesn't have a level to it. If you can think of something that doesn't have levels to it, throw it in the comments. I guarantee you I can come up with how there's levels to that. So test me. I like being tested. Let's see. Let's see if what I'm saying is correct. If you're like, oh, I don't believe in that concept, I don't think there's levels to everything, then try me. Put it out there. I want to see. All right. I like a challenge. On page 161 is where she talks about that. So the next part is that's the smallest thing you can do. So the option isn't to do nothing, but at the minimum, the smallest thing you can do every day. And then let's talk about the fears, because that hit me like a brick. The name of this book is You're Not Lost, Patricia. You're Not Lost by Maxie McCoy. It's an inspired action plan for finding your way. The best time to find your way is anytime, but for sure, if you start this year and you feel like I don't even know where to begin, you're not lost. You just need some action plans, some questions, some activities to help you figure out your next step. This helped me figure out my next. I thought I had my next step under wraps. I didn't realize that I was not really pursuing the next steps that I should be pursuing because of fear. Let's talk about it. Do something that scares you every single day. Do something that scares you every single day. It's going to scare you to pick up the phone and call this person. Do it. Guess what? If you do something that scares you every single day, this is where confidence comes from. Now, that wasn't in the book. It may have been, but this is definitely something I know to be true. Confidence happens from doing things that you're scared of every single day that eventually you start to realize, like, it's not that bad. What's the worst that can happen? They don't answer the phone. Now your heart gonna be beating fast. My heart still beats fast. I know all the scripts. I know all the things to say, and I still pick up the phone, and my heart be beating fast because I'm thinking to myself, they're gonna say something that I don't have the answer to. And in the book, Think Like a Freak, we start learning about. That's the next book, y'all. The next book that I'm starting next Tuesday is Think Like a Freak. And in this book, they literally talk about the ability to say that you don't know. Wouldn't that call that you're scared to make be so much easier if they ask a question and you just say, I don't know? But you know what? I'm going to write that answer down. And I have, because people don't necessarily need you to know everything, but they do appreciate that you have a circle that can get you the answer that you don't know. So one thing I can say when I'm on the phone is, you know what? I don't know that, but I have a mentor that I can reach out to. And I'm going to write that back. And can I call you back in 2 days? Can I call you back tomorrow? Is it okay if I text you that answer? That's better than making up something. You want to remain credible, but you also want to be able to be resourceful. Someone will say to me, hey, how can I do such and such? You know what? I don't do that. Or I pay someone to do that. But you know what? I'm going to send you a YouTube video that's going to walk you through it. The author is Maxine McCoy for You're Not Lost. Maxine McCoy for You're Not Lost is the author. And Think Like a Freak, the author for Think Like a Freak is two authors, Stephen Levitt and Stephen Dubner. So two Stevens are the authors. So she says on dealing with your fear, do something every day, every single day that you're scared of. In addition to doing something every single day that you're scared of, ask yourself these questions. Like, what are you worried about? What are you scared of exactly happen? In her case, she gave some things. She'll end up broke. She decided, and Maxine McCoy decided to quit her job, move to Bali. And she had a coach. And these are questions the coach was asking her. What's the worst that can happen? What are you scared of? She said, I'll end up broke. I'll never be able to move back to San Francisco, the place I love. Bali will be the worst. Levo will think I'm ungrateful, which is the where she worked at. My dream won't work out. I'll have to find a new one. I can't actually make money doing this. People will say shit. So in this book, there is some profanity. You've heard worse, I guarantee. Or they'll think I'm crazy. I'll have to ask my parents for a couch to sleep on. And then she asked her, is any of it that bad? Is any of it life threatening? Here's the one thing that I've learned. It's the one thing my counselor told me when I was fearful that I would make the same mistake after I got a divorce, that I would make the same mistake and I would end up with the same kind of guy, because it's like, not that I'm a bad person, but whatever kind of person I was, I attracted this man that I was divorcing. I attracted this. And I was so scared that I would do it again. I thought I was fine. This is why I went to counseling after I got divorced the first time. I thought I was fine. But I wanted to go to counselor to confirm I was fine. I was okay, that I wouldn't be bringing baggage to my next relationship, whoever that next relationship was going to be. And this is the one thing she said to me that I literally comes up in my head over and over again when I get into a point like, oh, did I do it again? Did I make this mistake? All right. And she said to me that you're not the same person that you were then. So if you happen to put yourself in a relationship with the same kind of person, the new Christy won't stay there. And I was like, you damn right I won't. Because I ain't for the shits. And that is what saves me from so many situations that I'm fearful, because I don't want to make the same mistake I made in the past, whether in business, whether in relationships, in love relationships, or whether it's a friendship relationship, is I'm not that same Christy. I have grown, I have made mistakes, I have learned from that mistake. So should I end up back in the same situation, I know how to get out. I know how to bounce back quicker. I know how to not stay there. I'm not the same Christy I was before. And so that is what I think of when I think of these questions that you ask yourself. Listing all the worst that could happen, and this is where confidence comes in. Being confident if the worst things happen. Because you know what? One of the reasons I didn't leave years ago, because the expiration date was way overdue. Like the milk was expired and I was still trying to drink it. And one of the reasons I know for a fact that I didn't leave, because it was like, what if I got to go stay with my mom? Like, what if I had to go stay with my aunt? And I look back and I'm like, I actually ended up having to stay with my parents anyway, because I moved overseas. And when I moved back from overseas, before I just did not want to stay in an apartment. So I was like, I'm going to stay with one of my parents, and end up being my dad, and fix my credit and save up and buy a house. Because it just didn't make sense to me to come back to the United States from working 3 years abroad and moving into a apartment. That didn't sit well with me. You do you, but that just wasn't my life goal. It's not what I want to do, right? And so I think to myself, I could have been moved back in my parents. What was the worst that could happen? It wasn't even bad. And so that's why I think this really works when you think about the fears. What's the worst that can happen? And then you add confidence in that at the end of the day, here's what I know about me. And this is what I want you to be able to say to yourself. At the end of the day, I'm going to win. And I want you to walk away with the kind of confidence that at the end of the day, you're going to win. Say that. At the end of the day, I'm going to win. Yes, Chancey says, I love that. I'm a totally different Chancey today, especially about to be 40. That's it. We're not the same person. So we can't live in the same fear thinking that, oh my God, what if I make that same thing? You won't. Or if you do make the same mistake, the results will be different because you're not the same person. So she says on page 198, and then we're going to wrap this up and go over there to the Clubhouse and do a little talk about it for a minute. Your blind spot, because everybody has them. Fear is, oh, I like this one. This the tea. I'm going to go ahead and sip this tea right here. I love this line right here. Fear is an attention whore. You need an engagement post today. You want to see if you want to wake up your friends list? Post this one in quotes. Say that Maxie McCoy said it. Go ahead and tag hashtag Tuesday Tea with Christy. Fear is an attention whore. Now I know when you thought of attention whore, you thought to yourself, oh, like, oh girl, yes. When fear comes into the picture, it takes up all the space in your chest and in your mind. So when we listen, it says on here on page 198, it does some other what ifs, all right? Because we go through and we think what ifs of all the negatives. But think about the what ifs on the positive. What if the next step opens up a future beyond your wildest dreams? Like I thought about this because I thought about all the negatives of some things that I want to do in this year. Like, what if this happens? What if this happens? But what if it literally opens up the world to my wildest dreams? There are doors that are waiting for you to open them only if you take that next step into fear. Like, you were scared to pick up the phone and make the call. That's your fear today. You're going to pick up the phone and make the call. And then you may not get out of that conversation what you thought you were supposed to get, but you'll end up with getting more. That's right, Carolyn. At the end of the day, I'm going to win. You're going to learn something, and learning something is a win. You're going to learn that, oh, I shouldn't have said that. That definitely made that conversation go left. I won because I learned something. So the next conversation, I know not to say that. So what will I say instead? I'm going to try this instead. Okay. Oops. That's changed it. And that still didn't work. It's a win because by the time I get to the 10th conversation, I'm going to win that conversation because I kept showing up and learning from my mistakes in the last 10 conversations, last 9 conversations. You don't learn anything if you never have the conversations. What if the pitch is your big break? What if the piece you write goes viral? What if showing up at the dinner that you really don't want to go to is the key to discovering your next big job? Here's a little science, all right? Because some of y'all need a little science. You don't want to just hear, this is my opinion. This is what Christy thinks. Here's the science behind it. When we have any feeling, fear, scared, fright, happy, sad, any emotion, there's a chemical reaction that literally only makes it last 90 seconds. Your body reacts to that feeling in 1 minute and 30 seconds. 90 seconds, y'all. If you're angry, your body literally, the hormone or whatever is the chemical component that makes you feel that anger lasts for 90 seconds. It's literally like when you go to the doctor, you go to the dentist, and they pull out that big needle. And you're thinking about that, oh my God, this needle's going to hurt for forever. And they do it, 90 seconds, done. The only reason you stay fearful past that 90 seconds is because of your thoughts, not because your body is making you do that. That is on you. This is what it says on page 200. 90 seconds has passed. Then it's because you have chosen to let that circuit continue to run. You've chosen to let that stay in your mind. You know how you keep staying mad at homeboy? Because you keep playing that scenario in your head over and over and over and over. Your body, literally the components that make up your body that trigger you last for 90 seconds. But you know what you said? You be in, it's 2 days later, you think to yourself, I know he didn't just say that about my mama. Like, really? We gonna do this? Now, you're choosing to replay this moment over and over in your head. The conversation you had on the phone, and homegirl told you, no, she's not trying to do this with you no more. Block her, don't contact her anymore. And you're choosing, you're making a choice to run that conversation over in your head, which is keeping you from taking the next step to talk to somebody else. That's true, Angela. She said, yep, because at the end of her call, I said, I'm done. I want some of my friends to eat. I just can't eat the same table with some of them. That's true. That's right, Pamela. She said in this book, let it go. Science is saying your body's over it. You're the one that's choosing to rerun that and stay angry. You're choosing to stay mad. Now, I get it. I totally understand the need to stay mad so you don't go running back in a situation that's supposed to be in. So there's some things, like with my ex, I kept running all the terrible things he did in my head over and over again. So there was no way I'd even consider going back. No, but he did that. No, he did that. No, I was purposely rerunning all the things that were wrong and difficult in my head. So there was no way I could think about going back. So it works in his favor. But when you're trying to build a brand, when you're trying to build a business, when you're trying to grow in success, you can't keep running those mistakes that made you angry. Like you bought something that wasn't a good investment. And you keep running that over and over in your head. You can't stay there. You have to learn from it and keep it moving. On page, the last thing is not about you. And I'm gonna end this and go over to talk about it. At the end of the day, you do a small thing every single day. You're getting past your fears. So the smallest thing every day could be definitely something that you're scared of. All right. Then it comes down to, at the end of the day, it's not about you. I love this statement right here. She says, you never know who you're inspiring. Angela, Pamela, Patricia, Mary, Bridget, you never know who you're inspiring. Listen, you never know who you're inspiring. It blows me away every single day when I'm talking to somebody about something totally different. Like I'm going to go pick up some boxes. Somebody just moved in this house. That is amazing. Like I heard her husband's new house is like sitting on the hill. You know how those big houses have those lights that like at night light up the front door. It just makes it look like an ominous, amazing, like they moved into this amazing house. So I was like, let me get those boxes, girl. And she's we're talking, and her husband loves my Audi Q7. He's like, and he like mentioned it like 3 times, and I'm like, oh, thank you, you know, that's what I did. But anyway, and she's like, I really need to talk to you about business. I didn't even know she was watching me, honey. Like I would have no idea, but she wants business advice from me, and it's been confirmation because I've had a couple of people who I didn't even know were watching me. One lady sent me a message the other day and says, I was watching your live from November. And I was like, I'm always talking on live. Like, what was I saying? Like, tell me what I was saying. And she's like, I was watching your live from November, and it really made me think about doing such and such and such. And I was like, you don't know who's watching. Listen, I'm telling you, the fact that you are showing up for yourself, someone is watching that and they are inspired. Keep going. It's not about you. If you're thinking no one sees you, she says this on 207. If you're thinking no one sees you, they do. You don't have to have an audience at scale following your every move to have an impact. They're watching. They're seeing you not giving up. They're seeing you watching and sharing professional development. They're seeing even when sister, girl, did you wrong, that you kept moving and didn't let it stop you. Your path doesn't get discovered in your head. You can't think your way to confidence. You can't think your way to confidence. You can't think your way to confidence. That's the thing. Page 209. You can't read all these books and listen to all these amazing people and then your confidence just shows up. Confidence comes from listening to the people and then taking action, doing something. Confidence comes from reading the book and actually applying it to your life and to your business. That's where confidence comes from. It does not happen in your head just thinking about it. Don't drop the mic, turn it up. Getting on the right path of yourself may mean getting off the path of what others think is right for you, because it's not about you. Getting on your right path, rising to the top, rising to the occasion, rising to the next level of you may not fit the path that others want for you. My dad definitely wanted me to keep my assistant principal job. But now what I hear, I'm so proud of you. You are the best mom. You're the best daughter. Now that usually follows with him wanting something. But I do believe that he means that when he says it. The next time you have a chance, reach out to someone who has inspired you and tell them what they did and how it affected you. What you put out in the world comes back to you. So if you want people, if you're thinking to yourself, like, nobody ever comes and tells me how great I am, or what I've done to impact their lives, or the quotes that I'm sharing in the morning they look forward to. Nobody's coming to tell me those things. Think to yourself, have you gone and told anybody the impact they've made on your life? Put out there what you want in return. Last thing on page 212, when it comes to rising and it not being about you, she says, it's important that you get honest, really honest about with what it took to get to your success, even the mini ones. It doesn't mean being all down on yourself. It simply means letting people see beyond the highlight reel. Be honest about what it took to get there. Like, I'll tell you, like my first marriage, I knew walking down the aisle, I shouldn't have said that yes. Literally. I knew walking down the aisle, I shouldn't have said that yes. When I left my full-time job, I was confident without belief that I would do it, that I would be a success. Did I have a business plan and know how it was going to work? No. But I also had a balloon. I saved up my entire year of assistant. I lived off my business for a year while I was working as assistant principal, and my assistant principal take-home pay, which was only $30,000. Now, I say only 30 because I'm like, on paper, I make 65,000. What I actually live off of is 30,000. So I had $30,000 in savings that if my business ever dropped, because businesses have waves. For my business, the drop is always in December and January. After December 15th until about now, there tends to be a lower movement in my business. Okay. And I had to be prepared for that. So I made sure I had $30,000 put away. That was even more motivation to leave, because I'm like, I'm only bringing home $30K. Now, of course, they were paying for my health care, but I pay for that now. So anyway, that's it. That is the Tuesday Tea with me. Listen, y'all, I hope you made it through a book like I have. If not, it's okay, because I'm doing time. I'm on level 3 with my reading. All right. So it's okay if you haven't finished your book. You're just at level 1. You are reading. But I'm at level 3. I'm knocking out at least 10 pages a day. And I have already started next week's book. So next week we will be back here with Think Like a Freak, The Secrets of the Rogue Economist. All right. So this book, it really is about economy. What better time to learn about the economy? Like, let me tell you something I got from this book. That 47% of the time, the smartest people in the world who predict the weather, predict the finances, like what we can expect to happen with the economy. You know how you watch CNN and MSNBC? Some of y'all may or may not watch that, but you watch the news and they saying this is going to happen with the weather at this time, at this day, or they're going to say this time next year, the economy is going to look like this. It's going to be a recession, and the recession is going to look like this. They throw out these words really to cause fear. But let me tell you, in this book, which I believe these smart people are only correct 47% of the time. 50-50. So literally, you, somebody who's not an economist, somebody who's not a weatherman, could say the opposite of what they say, and y'all both have a 50% chance of being right. If that don't change the way you think about how successful you're going to be, I don't know what does. Because what does that tell me? That tells me that when I'm making my plans for this year for my business, I shouldn't even be listening. I need to be razor focused, laser, all those things, laser focused on making sure I beat my best, because it really has nothing to do with the economy we're sitting in right now. The economy. They create whatever story they want to, and guess what? They have a 50% chance of being right. That is in the first, I'm on page, I lost my space. I'm on page at least 38. I gotta find out exactly where I'm at, like based on where the book opens up. I know I marked chapter 2, but last night I read 10 pages, and I have pin mark right here. So I'm on page 26. Now, I'm so excited about reading the rest of this because that just changed my whole life. I think of all the people who make decisions about based on what they hear on the news, based on what they're hearing on MSNBC, based on what they're hearing on CNN. I'm not sure. There are different covers. Your cover may not look like this. There are definitely different covers to Think Like a Freak, but it is by, the two authors are Stephen. Stephen and Stephen, both spelled different ways. And so your cover may not look like this. Yeah, your cover may not look like this. My cover for, they're saying on Facebook that they probably have a different cover. My cover for the Seasons of Life, I have an old copy that says was actually signed by him. I don't know if it really was. All right. So like this is an old copy. So if you had the Seasons of Life, yours not gonna look like this. I got a used copy, and the new copy looks totally different. So yeah, it could look different, but just the authors are Stephen and Stephen, Stephen Levitt and Stephen Dubner. All right, I will see y'all. I'm over my time, y'all. Clearly, I gotta do better with that. But I'm gonna see y'all back here next Tuesday, T, with me, your girl, and we'll be talking about Think Like a Freak. All right, see y'all back here next week, and we're gonna talk about this over on. Please, if you're already, let me put this in the comments here on Facebook. The Facebook group, I think I have it in here saved already. I should, in my boards app where I can just post stuff. Is this the group? Groups after the tea. Yep, bam, there it is. After the tea. So you can join me if you want to talk about the book after the tea. We definitely go ahead and post anything that you got from this book over there, and we talk about. Start the conversation. Don't wait for me. Let's talk about it. I love talking about it. All right. Some takeaways, some questions you have about something I said. Like, I'm not understanding that. You said this. It means a lot. What does that mean? How can I apply that? All those things. It's the free tea over there. All right. You guys be blessed. Y'all be safe. I'll see you back here next Tuesday. Let's go talk about it in Clubhouse, where I am Christy Waller. All right, y'all. Let me turn off YouTube. And I think I just canceled it by pushing that button. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yep, stop streaming. Yay! That's my first live on YouTube. I'm so